making headlines. The president states that the primary focus during his visit to the UNGA will be to share the stories of the Maldives and seek support in key areas crucial to the country. The Environment Ministry reveals that a study on a sustainable or ecotourism project in Keilakunu is currently underway. And the government reveals that the taxi regulations have been amended to require that any vehicle issued a taxi license must be registered with a licensed taxi centre. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PSM News. I'm your host Malak Ahmad Fayaz. Now for the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Moizu states that the primary focus during his visit to the United Nations General Assembly UNGA will be to share the stories of the Maldives, strengthen international relationships, and seek support in key areas crucial to the country. He made the remarks while speaking to the media before departing for New York to attend the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA 79. Speaking to the media, President Dr. Moizu emphasized that the Maldives stands to benefit significantly from engaging with the global community and enhancing ties with those capable of contributing to the development of the nation. He stressed that by sharing its stories and seeking international assistance, the Maldives can navigate its current challenges. He also highlighted that the Maldives will make its voice heard on the global stage through participation in the UN meetings, where he will address the country's views on the existing UN structure and advocate for necessary reforms. Additionally, President Dr. Moizu plans to discuss the Maldives' future development needs, including environmental issues and advancements in modern technology, seeking support from the UN, various associations, and other nations. He also noted that a key objective of his visit is to showcase the Maldives' progress and raise awareness of its efforts. Furthermore, President Dr. Moizu highlighted that his visit will focus on building relationships with countries and individuals who can help drive the Maldives' development. The president is accompanied by a high-level delegation, with the Maldives set to participate in 14 meetings during the visit. The government of India decides to extend the maturity of a $50 million Treasury bill by 1 year, which was originally due on September 19th. This marks the second rollover granted by the Indian government this year, following a similar extension on May 13th.
The extension was granted after a request from Maldives Minister of Foreign Affairs Musa Zamir during discussions held between the two governments during a recent visit of India's Minister of External Affairs Dr. S. Jaishankar to the Maldives from August 9th to 11th. The government of Maldives has expressed sincere appreciation for the ongoing budgetary support provided by India. It noted that this extension comes at a crucial time as the Maldives implements a robust fiscal consolidation program to address pressing economic challenges. The Maldives government stated that this extension symbolizes the long-standing bilateral ties between the two nations and expressed its commitment to continuing this collaborative partnership for the mutual benefit and prosperity for their people. During this time, Indian media have reported that India remains prepared to assist the Maldives financially. In conjunction with this decision, the President's office announced that President Dr. Moizu will be traveling to India in the coming days. Reports indicate that comprehensive discussions regarding fiscal support will take place during the President's visit. President Dr. Moizu had previously made his first official visit to India in June at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where he attended the swearing-in ceremony of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers of the Government of India.
Minister of Economic Development and Trade Mohammad Saeed reveals the rationale behind the launch of offshore bunkering services, citing significant benefits for the Maldives. He made the comments in the ceremony held to inaugurate these international bunkering services in the country.
Addressing criticism regarding the offshore bunkering initiative, Minister Said explained that onshore services can only be sustained with adequate demand. He emphasized the Maldives stands to gain substantially from offering offshore bunkering services and effectively promoting them. The minister expressed optimism that this development would facilitate smoother trade and business activities within the region. Minister Said highlighted the strategic geographical advantage of the Maldives, noting that even attracting a small fraction of 300 vessels that traverse the area could yield considerable benefits. He underscored the potential for expanding service offerings as a result. Additionally, the minister acknowledged Vitol Bunkers' confidence in the Maldives and their partnership with State Trading Organization to launch these services within a short time frame. He also mentioned that Vitol Bunkers has committed to further investments in the Maldives. Minister Said commended President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu for his initiatives aimed at promoting industries and sectors that contribute to economic diversification in the nation.
Vitol, a key partner assistant in the State Trading Organization STO, is launching bunkering services in the Maldives, praises the government's decision to enter the sector. In an interview following the inauguration of the International Bunkering Service in the northern Maldives, a Vitol representative described the move as a strategic and wise decision by both the Maldivian government and STO. The Vitol representative emphasized the company's extensive experience in the bunkering industry and expressed confidence that this collaboration with STO would lead to an environmentally friendly and profitable project. He highlighted the Maldives' strategic geographical location, noting its potential to benefit significantly from expanding its oil business into bunkering. Vitol is actively supporting STO in various aspects of providing bunkering services and is also promoting the Maldives with the global bunkering system. In addition, Vitol plans to promote the Maldives as a bunkering destination at the Singapore International Bunkering Conference, SIBCON, one of the world's largest bunkering events, next month. The representative emphasized that this event will provide significant exposure for the Maldives within the sector, potentially attracting considerable interest and investment. The Ministry of Fisheries and Ocean Resources announces that a team from the World Bank will be visiting the Maldives in November to create a plan to observe the works pertaining to sustainable fishing in the Maldives and areas in which financial assistance can be provided.
The ministry stated that discussions have been ongoing with relevant authorities to further develop and enhance the fisheries sector. As such, Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources Ahmad Shyam has held discussions with the World Bank's Singapore-based Practice Manager for Environment, Natural Resources and Blue Economy in East Asia and the Pacific region, and Janet Glober. The discussions primarily focused on the fields in which the World Bank can provide financial assistance to the Maldives. During the discussions, Minister Shyam shed light on the progress of the World Bank-funded Transform project and explored how the World Bank can further support the development of the Maldives fisheries sector. Key topics included innovative solutions to enhance the sector and finding ways to capitalize on the Maldives' sustainability efforts. The minister stated that the 65% of unprocessed fishes purchased by the Maldives Industrial Fisheries Company Limited MIFCO were exported, revealing the government's target to reducing this amount by increasing the amount of processed fish. Furthermore, Minister Shyam disclosed that efforts are underway to establish fish processing factories in 3 regions across the Maldives. The minister reiterated President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's efforts of ensuring that at least 35% of expenses incurred for importing oil used by companies are changed to renewable energy sources.
The Ministry of Climate Change, Environment and Energy reveals that a study on a sustainable or eco-tourism project in Kelakunuha Atoll is currently underway. The government initiated its ecotourism efforts in January this year and is committed to advancing the project swiftly. To launch the ecotourism initiative in Kelakunu, the ministry has invited tenders for feasibility study on developing an environmentally friendly, sustainable tourism project on the island. Initially, bids were to be submitted by September 22, but the deadline has now been extended to September 26. The bids are also scheduled to be opened on the same day. The ecotourism development in Kelakono, which spans 80.23 hectares, was approved by President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu following discussions with the cabinet. The project will ensure the protection of the coral reefs and lagoons of the island, aligning with environmentally sustainable practices. Minister of Cities, Local Government and Public Works Adam Sharif Umar announces that ID card and passport services will be introduced in all atolls during the current presidential term. His remarks came following the launch of ID card services in Vilingili Gafalif Atoll, marking the first time such services have been made available outside the capital Male. Minister Adam Sharif highlighted that this expansion of services aligns with President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's pledge to bring essential government services closer to the people through decentralization. The launch in Vilingili is a testament to this commitment, he stated. He further emphasized that establishing a system for councils to manage centralized services like ID card and passport issuance is a key aspect of President Dr. Muizzu's vision. This move demonstrates the increase in empowerment of local councils under the President's leadership. The minister reiterated that ID card and passport issuance services will be rolled out across all atolls during this term. Minister of Construction and Infrastructure Dr. Abdullah Muttalib emphasizes the need for skilled and youthful generation to ensure economic growth. The remarks were made by the minister graced in the graduation ceremony for the students of Maldives Polytechnic. The Minister of Higher Education, Labour and Skills Development, Dr. Mariam Maria, also attended the ceremony.
In the address, Minister Dr. Muttalib highlighted the importance of vocational training to promote the field of labours. The minister underscored the significance of acquiring skills in various fields, regardless of seeking education in a particular field, in order to utilize the employment opportunities available in the country. He stated that skilled and youthful individuals play a pivotal role in bolstering the country's economic growth. Furthermore, Minister Dr. Muttalib emphasized the importance of seeking higher education from fields which can benefit the country. The minister urged all individuals to seek education in fields which may become beneficial in the future, requesting everyone to learn essential work-related skills. During the ceremony, Chief Executive Officer CEO of Maldives Polytechnic, Zushan Kamaluddin, shed light on the ongoing efforts being exerted to further develop Maldives Polytechnic. Highlighting the efforts to change the centre into a college, Zushan stated that Maldives Polytechnic launched technical courses in Alifushira Atoll and in the Doha Alif Atoll, aiming to expand its services nationwide. The ceremony saw the graduation of 431 students from the institute who were enrolled in 34 various courses offered from certificate level 1 to diploma. This includes 324 male students and 107 female students. It also includes students who completed their studies in the campuses situated in 4 islands. The top 22 students from the courses were awarded as well.
The government reveals that the taxi regulations have been amended to require that any vehicle issued a taxi license must be registered with a licensed taxi centre. The current taxi regulations, which took effect in 2022, initially mandated that vehicles applying for taxi license be registered with a licensed taxi centre. However, the requirement was removed in an amendment made on September 18th last year. Previously, applicants were required to submit documentation proving that the vehicle was listed in a taxi centre when applying for a license. The requirement was eliminated with last year's amendment, but as of the most recent amendment on September 17th, the condition has been reinstated. Under the amended regulations, a taxi license will be granted to vehicles that meet roadworthiness standards and are covered by third-party insurance after the payment of an annual fee. In a bid to enhance the global competitiveness of its shipbuilding sector, China's 2 largest state-owned shipyards are merging to create the world's biggest ship manufacturer, as part of the country's ongoing efforts to reform and strengthen its state-owned enterprises, SOEs.
The seas of change are coming to China's shipbuilding sector. Industry giants China State Shipbuilding Corporation and China Shipbuilding Industry Company have announced plans to merge, creating a maritime manufacturing behemoth with annual sales topping $17 billion. This move aligns with China's broader efforts to consolidate state on the global stage.
Restructuring is vital to the reform of SOEs, aligning with national strategies and advancing the equipment manufacturing industry. The new company from this merger will enhance R&D and production capacity, improving its global competitiveness and driving China's shipbuilding industry toward high-end manufacturing and greater innovation.
China State Shipbuilding Corporation states the State Council's 9-point guideline released in April specifically promotes mergers to enhance the quality of listed companies. Listed state-owned enterprises are merging and reorganizing to boost competitiveness and industry efficiency.
China's securities market is witnessing a surge in mergers and acquisitions, with companies, both state-owned and private, expanding their scale and strengthening their positions through strategic integrations. We have also seen some cases, not just a shipbuilding industry, including the integration in the securities industry. In the next phase, I anticipate an increase in the frequency and intensity of such corporate consolidations, not only among central enterprises, but also involving private enterprises. This trend is likely to continue, with more cases emerging in the future.
China's dominance in shipbuilding has been on a steady rise as China continues to integrate its industrial resources and optimize its development environment. Its shipbuilding industry is poised for even stronger growth, solidifying its leading position in global competition.
Lebanese security sources says Israeli warplanes carried out their most intense strikes on South Lebanon in nearly a year of war, heightening the conflict between Israel and Lebanese armed group Hezbollah amid U.S. calls for restraint.
The White House said a diplomatic solution was achievable and urgent, and Britain's Foreign Secretary David Lammy called for an immediate ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. The intense barrage followed attacks earlier in the week attributed by Lebanon and Hezbollah to Israel that blew up Hezbollah radios and pagers, killing 37 people and wounding about 3,000 in Lebanon. 3 Lebanese security sources said in the Thursday's operation, Israel launched dozens of bombs across southern Lebanon. They said there were no immediate reports of casualties. Israeli radio stations reported that dozens of fighter jets struck Hezbollah targets, including around 100 rocket launchers. Israel's military did not confirm the shelling, but said earlier it had struck dozens of Hezbollah targets, including rocket launchers and weapon depots in southern Lebanon. Israel says its conflict with Hezbollah, like its war in Gaza against Hamas, is part of a wider regional confrontation with Iran, which sponsors both groups as well as armed movements in Syria, Yemen and Iraq.
Arsenal's Premier League title ambitions face the ultimate test when a relentless Erling Haaland aims to fire Manchester City 5 points clear of the Gunners at the top of the table. Mikel Arteta's men managed to stop City scoring twice last season, but still could not deny the English champions a record 4th consecutive Premier League title. For the past 2 seasons, Arsenal have finished second to Pep Guardiola's winning machine. Many believe this is their season to end a 21-year wait to win the title since Arsene Wenger's Invincibles romped to glory without losing a game. City remain their biggest obstacle, although the path could be cleared should the holders be hit by a points deduction for 115 alleged breaches of Premier League rules by the end of the campaign. Haaland has struck a record 9 times in the first 4 matches of the new Premier League campaign. The Norwegian's stunning form has ensured City are the only side in the English top flight yet to drop points. But Arsenal are on their tails again, just 2 points behind after proving their title credentials in battling away wins at Aston Villa and Tottenham. Arsenal's challenge is built on rock-solid defensive foundations. Centre-back pairing William Saliba and Gabriel are earning comparisons to legendary partnerships of the past, while goalkeeper David Raya has an extraordinary showreel of saves from the past month alone. In 5 matches in all competitions, Arsenal have conceded just once, a goal that arrived when down to 10 men against Brighton. When Arsenal shut out City in a 0-0 draw on the final day of March, there were muted celebrations from the visitors as they lift the Etihad still on top of the table. But City did not drop another point in the final 9 games of the season to snatch the title by 2 points. A never-before auction painting from French Impressionist painter Claude Monet's Water Lilies series is expected to lead and break records at an auction in Hong Kong next week.
Titled Nymphaeas 1897-99, painted 125 years ago, is estimated to fetch between 25 million to 35 million US. It remained within Monet's family for decades after his death in 1926 and then ended up in a private collection before being consigned to Christie's. Vincent van Gogh's Maud boards, expected to fetch between 30 million to 50 million US dollars, will hit the auction block for the first time in 3 decades. This piece will be on the block alongside the Monet.
So Van Gogh Mood Boats 1887, it's a celebration of colors. He arrives in Paris, he spends 2 years in Paris in search of the artists who already been in Paris for a long time, like Claude Monet, like Degas, like Renoir. And what does he do? He meets color. So this painting is actually a celebration of color, of Paris, of impression, of light.
Christian Albo, head of Christie's 20-21 Century Art, explained that the purpose of the inaugural 20th-21st Century Evening Sale at its New Asia headquarters is to demonstrate how art can break boundaries and celebrate the impact of Impressionism.
The purpose of this auction is to celebrate art, to celebrate artists, and to show actually that art doesn't have boundaries. Very much we say when the East meets the West, but at the same time the artists don't think that way. So we put in one exhibition Claude Monet, who inspired very much Zauki, who was in the same time in New York, and then we have George Condo, we have René Magritte, we have Sanyu. So it's an accumulation of great minds creating great paintings.
The auction, scheduled for the evening of September 26th, will also include works from Chinese-French painter Zhao Voqi, American artist George Condo, and Belgian surrealistic artist René Magritte.
That's all the news we have for today. Thank you all for watching.
ಬಾಗಿ ಅಮಿಲ್ಲವಂತಕಮ್ಗೆ ರಮ್ಜು ಎಬ್ಬಾವಂತಕಮ್ಗೆ ವಾಫ ಅದಿ ಕೌಮಿಯತ್ಗೆ ಅಸಾಸ್ ಬಹಗುಳೆ ಮೌಲುಮಾತಕಿ ಹಮ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ಮೀಹಕವಿಸ್ ಎಂಗೆಂಜೆ ಅಸಾಸಿ ಬೈ
ದಿವೆಹಿ ಕೌಮಿಯತ ಮಿಹಾರ್ ವರಬ್ಬೊಡ ಫೆಂಬುವಾಗನ್ ಫೊ ಎ ಸಮಾನೆ ಇಂಗೇತು
ದಿವಿ ಬಸ್ ಉಫೆದಿಫವಾ ಗೊತಾ ಮಾದರಿ ಬಸ್ ಕುರಿಯರುಮ ಕುರವಿದಾಣೆ ಕಂತತ್ತ ಅದಿ ದಿವಿಹಿ ಬಹುಗೆ ಫುಣ್ಣಾ ಬೋಸ್ ಪೇಫ್ಲುಂಗೆ ವಣವರ್
ಅಳುಗ ದೇವನಿ ಬಸ್ ನೆತಿಗನ್ ದಾಣ ಎ ಲಫ್ಜು ಎ ಹಿತ ಗೆನವನಿ ಬಹಂಗ ಲೋಯ್ಬೆಗ್ ಬೊಡು ಕಪುಂಗೆ
ಈಹಕ ಮಿಸಾಲಕಂ ಅಮಿಲ್ಲಾ ಮಿಹಂ ವಿದಾಳ ವಾಷೆ ಬೊಣಿಮತ್ ದೆನ್ ಅಳುಗೊಂಡ ಬಿವಾಗತಕಿ ಆ ವಿದಾಳವಣಿಯೆ ಎಹಂ ಬೊನೆವೆನಿ ಏಕಮೊಕ ಹಾಗಿಗತುಗೆ ಎತಂ ಕೊಳ ಬದಲು ಕೊಲ್ಲಂ ಜೆಹನ ಮಿ ದಣ್ಣವಣಿ ಮಿಹನ್ನೆ ದೆಂಬುಣಂ ವಾಣಿ
ಕೌಮಿಯತುಗೆ ವಿಂದು ಜಹನಿ ಬಹಾ ಸಕಾಫತಾ ಆದಕಾದಾಗೆ ವಿಂದು ಹುರಿ ಹಶಿಗಣಿಕ ಎ ಹಶಿಗಂಡ ಬೇನುವಾ ವಿಜಾ ದಮ್ಮರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮು
ಮುಕುರದು ಹೋಗೆ ಖುತುಬಾ